advancement. That's what they were doing back then. Understand? And then from One West was the only school at that time, and because they also adopted teaching the New Testament. Because he mentioned Rabbi Matthews. They were from the Commandment Keepers, and Bivens came out of the Commandment Keepers, the Iquan. But they were teaching the Old Testament until the Spirit got on them. I think from Bivens too, and then Marshall Ariah extended it. They extended to the New Testament also. And so One West was one of the only schools out there where we go out there publicly teaching the 12 tribes of Israel and the New Testament and the gospel. And so there was One West was one of the only schools doing that at that time. Okay, so this is the stick here. So it's important that we understand that now we got to come back together as the one stick. All these old separate camps and everybody disassociating themselves with other camps and all that. No, we have to come together as one stick. And in other words, as one government too. The nations have their government. See, we're a government in exile. And as a government in exile, we're still a nation, but we're just not together. We're just not as a government yet. We're separate. And that's what the nations don't want. That's why they teach division. They teach that you're better than this brother over here and that brother. They make some of them rich, some of them, most of us are poor, right, Con? And then they give you different positions. Some of us have become a governor or a senator and so forth to divide us up. And then they got Christianity out there. They got Roman Catholicism out there. They got Muslim out there. They got the conscious community out there, right? All this division. Because why? When we come together like this, see, the beginning of Jacob is the end of Esau, correct? That's it. And they don't want that. So that's why the Most High said, Ezekiel, put them on one stick. And he said, Ezekiel, don't be afraid of their faces. It's only your people. Don't be afraid of them. Teach them. And matter of fact, if they come against you, make your face harder than their face. Because it's just your people. And that's why we go out there and teach them. If you were back there at One West, that's how we taught. Daniel knows, Ash knows, brothers know, that's how we taught. See? You got to be rough with Israel. Our people are hard-headed, man, stiff-necked. You got to be rough with them. You got to blow the trumpet at them. And he said, spare none of them when they come up against you. Don't spare none. See? Yeah, you Israelites, you don't like it, you know what I'm saying? Too bad. Go back out in the world and deal with Esau. And he going to put fire to you behind. See? So, let me just finish, and my thought will come up, but let's finish this. It says, one more. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Panthros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the island of Sisi, all these different nations. See? And that's why he said, like he was breaking down. Ariah brought forth the 12 tribes of Israel, and he had to westernize it so you understand it. Understand? Yeah, our people are scattered over the earth. But he had to do that so you can understand that the 12 tribes are scattered. And a lot of our people are in the western hemisphere anyway of the earth. Understand? Yeah, we're all over the earth, but a lot of our people are in the western hemisphere. We know that. So they had that's why the Most High gave the characteristics of the tribes and what land they would be in today. Like Panama, a haven of ships. Okay? That's common sense. So the people of Panama, the Indian descent Panamanians, that's who they are. They would be in that area. And it gives you an example of Issachar, right? About rest. He would love rest. And they have the siestas and so forth. So it makes common sense. So that's how Ariel put it together. And he said the Spirit was on him. He said he didn't do nothing for 2 years breaking down the 12 tribes. That was Ariel of One West. For 2 years, he didn't do nothing. He didn't go out and speak. Stayed in the house, just breaking it down. Okay? So that's why you have to give him credit, because the Spirit was on him. And then, like you said, Bunyan and the Danyala came and made an advance. And some of y'all may make another advance. Right, Con? It was Madatua, and Madatua came to me by man, went west and said, look, Brock, a lot of our people are still in Africa. Why do you think he's in Africa now? Because the Spirit showed him that we're still there. Because we should teach at one time, and y'all know this, that anybody out of Africa was a Hamite. Anybody. You said, you're a Hamite. You said, no, brother, I'm from Ghana, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? And we said, no, you're a Hamite. And you're cursed to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High said he hate Ham. Most forsaken individuals of the Most High there is. I'm going to try to quote the scripture, but still. So, and then we came together, we said, wait a minute, you're right. And then, of course, you read the book Babylon, from Babylon Timbuktu, and you know what I'm saying? So it gives you understanding. The next thing you know, we found out over 20 some odd tribes are Israelites in Africa. The God tribe, the Ashanti tribe, Fulani tribe, and so on. Madafu can tell you more of them. Those are all Israelis. All our people weren't on the transatlantic slave trade coming out of Africa. Some of them were still there. So our people, millions. And the Igbo tribe in Nigeria, there's millions of them. Those are all our people out. Okay, in Ghana, those are millions of our people still there. Liberia, so forth. See? So we gotta understand that. So that's important. So another advance. He made another advance. That's why we have on the 12 tribe chart, Judah, Black Americans, Mali, Akan, Mandingo, Senegal, Igbo, Guinea, Benjamin, Ghana. Okay? That's why he's in Ghana now. He's a Benjaminite, right? Haitian, Ashanti, Dahomey, Trinidad, and Tobago. See? So a lot of times we think that because you're from Trinidad and Tobago and Caribbean that you're a Benjamite. Not necessarily. See? You could be from Trinidad and Tobago, but you're a Levite.
And Barak, as you mentioned, that's an advance.
Yeah.
Because for somebody like myself that go to school in Jamaica, Trinidad, not in the Caribbean. Trinidad, part of Venezuela. Just like Barbados is not in the Caribbean. Guyana is not in the Caribbean. And when they do the history, you find out that there was no slave ship that went to Guyana. So the blacks in Guyana, who are they? And as I say, it's not to denounce nothing, but it's an advance.
Right.
When you read the history of Trinidad, Tobago, they carry the name from Togo, which is Benin. They bring that Tobago name with them to Trinidad. The ships that went to Trinidad was not the same ship that stopped in Barbados or went to Jamaica. Because the French did own Trinidad. The British buy Trinidad from the French in the 1800s. Just like the Virgin Island was owned by Denmark. And even Trump said it. You sell us the Virgin Island, why you can't just give us Greenland? Right? The same Denmark and America in turmoil for that again. So then we understood in terms of Sister Malachi, I think you went to school in Jamaica, we know about the Windward Island, the Linwood Island, the Great Antilles, the Lesser Antilles. Right? And even, I bring something to the council a couple of years ago too, in terms of when Christopher Columbus came here, the most militant tribe he see was the Caribbean Indians. They're not on it. Did they disappear? And this is a history that I would know going to school in Jamaica that the Judite here in America would not know. The Caribbean Indians were the most prolific tribe. They never went to slavery. Christopher Columbus tell you he could never conquer them. So the entire region that you call the Caribbean today, named after one tribe. They're not there. So if you ask yourself, who are the Caribbean Indians today? They're still there. They're not there. So just think about it. So it's still work to be done. And Daniel is a Benjamin too, but I don't think he went to school. That's like the difference, right? Yeah. But if you think about the Caribbean Indians today, you'll find most of them in Dominica, not DR, Dominica. And that's why a couple of years ago I went to St. Martin and just to sit, look at them, watch the culture, because they were lost in translation. They still are brothers and sisters because they withstood Christopher Columbus. All right? Ash, I want to finish up.
Yeah. The brother spoke about Bivens teaching the New Testament. I give the credit to Masha Arya Yaikwa because they took the teachers of Yahushua Christ took it to the level that we got it. And that's why it's out there now. Because Bibbins, he was teaching the New Testament, and he was teaching about, well, he used the Greek, he was teaching about Jesus Christ. But he wasn't teaching it the way Marshall and Aria and Yaikwa was teaching it. See, when they started teaching, they started going into those scriptures and putting Yahushua's position where it really supposed to be, as the mediator and as the Messiah and as the liberator of the nation of Israel. Now, Bibbins was teaching it, but he wasn't teaching it on that advanced level. I'm saying Yahushua. He wasn't teaching on the advanced level as Marshall, Aria, and Yaakov. And then they gave it, Lahab came in, Yeshaya, Shoah, and then when we came in, they gave it to us, and then we hit the streets, it's advanced, and then everybody else coming in, they are advancing the teachers. They're getting the archaeology, history on Yahushua and everything. So it's always advanced. It's nothing going to be set back. You put something out, you put information out, it's not going to go backwards. It's always going to advance. It's always going to be added to. Just like the chart, just like the teachers of Yahushua, and also the history. Everybody asks 125th Street, there's a lot of history with that too. So it's advanced. There's a lot of things went on that I might have went on missions that brothers that was at One West don't know about, and they did things I don't know about. So you put that together and make history, it's advanced. Okay, everybody was doing something back then. See, so now look, Rabbi Matthews was teaching, not Yahushua, he was teaching Christ as well. That's Rabbi Matthews. But then he began to get flack from his people about if you teaching it, it's like you are worshiping Christ. So he stopped and he took all the name, he took Yahushua with Christ's names of all his paperwork. So now you got a lot of Israelites that don't teach the Messiah. See? But when Bibbins brought the New Testament, Marshall and them took it and they went into those scriptures and took it to the next level. The teachings of Yahushua. And I yield with that.
Right. Give us a round of applause. I'll just continue to say something because let me know that what the brother was asking, what the brother was asking is based upon what about the Israelites that's not in the Western region. But we'll address that. But we have Zaquan here, he's a scholar, he writes many books. Daniel also is a scholar. So we know they speak to people throughout their generation. We watch most of the videos. And sometimes when they speak to a brother Daniel and Zaquan, and you hear they say, oh, we have many messiahs. You know they denouncing the glory of Yahushua, right? So that's what Ash was saying when Matthews came out and started, and he was a Benjamin too. When he came out and we started to teach him, we have to bring back, and because it was a conflict of interest in terms of myself and brothers here went to Demona. A brother here from Demona, where is he? He left? He left. All right. When you go there, you hear that. That's a conversation we always have. Oh, but we have many messiahs. Moses was a messiah. Joshua was a. We know, but we only have one begotten son. We only have one King of Kings. We only have one. I know they clone Selassie, elect of God, but that's for the Ethiopians. That's never for us. We have one elect of the Most High. And as the brother said, to answer your question now, Nazir, you came to Israel with us a couple of years ago. So you have an idea with what we're talking about. We have to fix house here first. Because the great deliverance will be from America regarding where I am at the planet Earth. Barak just read Isaiah 11:11. Those people was commanded to walk back in the land. But the great deliverance will be in North America. Whether we like it or not. That's my opinion. And I think it's many of us' opinion here. Right, Dan? Eloi Zaquan? Yeah, the great deliverance will be here, whether we like it or not. So when here is corrected in terms of the knowledge, because there's still schools in Africa without washroom. And I can even make mention in terms of, I went to Tanzania a couple of years ago, and I never sensed slavery like what I sensed there. Never, not even Africa. You went to this is Steve Harvey was crying, the heat of no return. We all went there, right? That's have nothing to do with what went on in Tanzania. Right? So we have understanding in terms of, you have to build back the realms here in terms of we watch Roots. And when we watch Roots, Kuta Kente, it tell you in the Roots what tribe he was from. Phil the Kalima, Guinea man. So even that directly there tell you that, listen, the blacks from Guinea, they came here. And you remember when it was going through Dash, you Google the capital of Guinea and the biggest city in Guinea, named Kankan, Kankan. So even in Roots, it tell you exactly the slaves, who they were, where they go, and where they come from. Then you go in Deuteronomy now, and Barak said, I heard other brothers with it. I think Tahar was one of the first one I hear with it. He said, we have our people in Africa. And when he said it, I looked into it. Because that was always a conflict of interest in Jamaica, when 99% of Jamaicans said we were Africans. And they love their brothers in Africa, but we always out there denouncing it. So at the time when Tahar said, I said, listen, let me look into it. And then we go back over Deuteronomy 28 chapter. And the Bible said, we shall see our sons and our daughters go to slavery. And there's no power going to be in our hand. So if the sons and daughters went to the slave ship, where were the mother and fathers? So when you go to Africa today, Africa, they know who they are. They have a custom, they have a culture. We have nothing in the West. We have the word of the Most High, and we're still divided. And as I'm going to mention something shortly about the marriage class, the marriage custom that's over there, and the death and burial, and the custom that is over there, and what we go through in our time. I'll just speak on that and finish up. Well, the marriage custom in Africa, if you don't pay dowry, there will be no marriage. There's no marriage custom in Africa where they call it white marriage. That is not marriage. Marriage in Africa, it will take place 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, the man have to go to the father's house. There's no marriage in Africa without the father. If it's not the father, it's the head of the family. Every family have a head of the family. So if it's not the father, it will be a uncle. Just like when you read Joseph that buried Yahushai, the history tells you that Joseph was Yahushai uncle. So when Yahushai died, even Mary, the mother, she could not get the body. But it was easy for Joseph to go and get it because they said at the time he was the head of the family. So they have that custom in Africa now in terms of marriage is dowry. And by marriage is dowry, it have something based upon mainly what the scripture stated. I know we have 50 shekels here, but there it might not be equivalent to 50 shekels, but you have to pay something. In our Bible, it's based upon virgin. Theirs is based upon education. So the more intelligent and the more education the woman have, is the higher the dowry. So that's over there today. We know in the Bible for a virgin is how much, Kalak? And virgin is how much? If the woman is not a virgin, how much it is? Zakwan. Hosea pay 15 shekels. Hosea pay 15 shekels. The Bible, the Most High tell Hosea, will pick a woman from Wordom and pay 15 shekels for her. So we can laugh, but it's the truth. Right? So yes, so they have that. Yes, sis.
So is that for every place in Africa, or is it just specific to tribes?
It's
Or
every
it's- or
region in
every
Africa.
country,
Every country have dowry. Some pay cows, some give land, but every country in Africa you have to pay dowry for marriage. So it depends. Some take cash, physical cash. Some take animals. And some tribe take cash, some tribe take chickens, some tribe take animals. Huh?
Some tribes do goat.
Repeat?
Goat.
Yes, goat. Some take animals too. But I'm in the Fanta region. There is cash. And it's based upon education. So even in our custom now and our culture now, this week I say somebody sent something to us, a case to try. And I see a marriage certificate. And I look at the marriage certificate. There was no diary pin. There's the father name is not on it. So that's why even now we didn't want everybody to come, because the last summit, Shalom and myself, we discussed certain things in terms of, and Kazakia school, certain school, all the schools that was there agreed with the proposal that we put forth to them in terms of the marriage, in terms of if the father is not around, it should be the leader of the school, where we can stop in terms of the sister that came to us saying I'm seeing her husband for 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. So now you look at it now and you said, we supposed to be in the truth. The brother was part of us. The brother was once part of us. And now you're talking about somebody in the truth. His wife, I've not seen him for 6 months. I spoken to him for 6 months. And we supposed to be in the truth. Then now you look at it and said, those people in Africa, they're not in the truth and they don't have such barbaric lifestyle. When you go to bed, sleep, wake up, you pray, you don't know if your wife eating. Hey, Barack, have you ever not speak to your wife for 6 months? No. Sister Yakora, have you ever not speak to you for 6 months? January, February, March, April, May, June. You have not disappeared like that yet. So, well, yes, mission impossible, right? So, in terms of it, we can joke about it, but this is a seasonal marriage here. Where they're gonna go to, and I know they have many ups and downs, but what's happening now in the nation? It's in terms of, in the truth, we have to put a stop to it. So that's why we want to get the school heads together. We agree. I remember Shalom proposed that what they tried to push in LOZ was, for the married woman, when they put their name on Facebook, if it's Yakora Yashahala of the house of Barak. So right away, if you go and you build that sister in Bax, you know it's a big violation day one when you see the house of Barak there. So when the sister put her name on Facebook, she put what house she at, what head she is. Because many of us can quote Isaiah 4:1 for the 7 wives, but we've missed the fundamental part when the woman was desiring to just be called by the name of her husband. Right? So you get that. So in terms of a brother pay diary for a woman, in terms of he do the rights, what he's supposed to do in terms of marriage, this is the law. We want to bring it back. So as in Kalak class this morning, Kalak was talking, we have debate about everything else, but not keeping the commandments of the Most High. I think who was teaching about love? Was it Zakwan? Yeah, Zakwan was teaching about the love that we don't have for each other, and Shamar, you was doing it too. So in terms of, these are the law that we want to bring back among us as a nation of people. So myself, I'll reach out to the heads who was at the last summit who agree with what we do. So hopefully for the next summit, for the next summit, California. Some seed. This might be some seed. Kalak was just teaching the Hebrew, right? You see a lot of people can say the ka, because you have to come from the back of your throat. So we'll see who said the seed the best. Eh? Yeah. What about that? Because the fan said, North Carolina, North and C. North and C. But we'll see. All right, so in terms of that, definitely I'll speak to them. Because something has to be done in terms of what we're setting for the next generation to come. Because social media messed the whole thing up. I never met a wife on social media. I never had a wife on social media. I never said naked picture to nobody on social media. These are all the cases going on out there. This is what children do our people in the world. So we want to stop that. If a man see a woman out there, you have to find out what school he go to. Then you talk to the head of that school if that sister is eligible for marriage or what's going on. We investigate and we do the proper thing. We do diary where we type it up and everything. Khan? I remember we was in Israel and I was talking to Kalak and both Priest Yakanan. He could not make it today. And we were discussing in terms of, we know 50 shekel is for the virgin, that is unnegotiable. So we were trying to settle the price for a non-virgin. So I think the heads of the school, we have to come together. I would say 15 shekels was I pay, but we will still discuss it and see if we come up with the same agreement. Can? So can? So that's what we're dealing with, that aspect. For the death and burial now, I'll just touch on something for a few seconds now. For the past 3 years, we lose some vital brothers in history. All right, we lose Priest Cartazala. If you see us in the video, he was always here with us. He's still here with us today. The Hebrew that Kalak was teaching today, Cartazala was very impressive in that office. And along with that office, we lose Elder Cartazakad. We lose Elder Mike Allah. We lose a lot of brothers and sisters from other camp. Myself, in terms of my congregation over there in Ghana in November, I lose a young girl, she was 13. So the difference in Africa is, it's easier if somebody died today, you can get them, bury them today. So with that death, we do a same-day burial. The person died about 8 in the morning, by 3, she was in the ground. She get a royal burial, an Israelite burial. We have sisters that bought her, because myself and Cartazala, we've been to Demona, and we've been to death and burial class in Demona, how they do it. So things that we find hard to do over here in Demona, they do it easily. When I went to Demona on many excursions, they went all the way to Jordan in Amman to buy material. They only wear Egyptian cotton or linen. Because of that year, that's where I buy all these clothes from. I have to try to keep up with it. Right? And every time, I know we have a harder day for Pasaka already. Kalak came a couple of times, buy clothes there too. Because the community in Demona, they make their own clothes. You have it on, right? And Tazawar is in the pants from there. And he's in a cotton shirt from Ghana. So in terms of the sister from and the husband, they speak about that today. We have to look forward in that direction in terms of stuff that we do and where we can learn in other departments. So I remember I did a funeral out there with them, and the funeral was the quickest funeral I ever seen. Nobody didn't even cry. Whoa. So then we understood that they have a death and burial class. Me and Cartazala, we only been there once. But we know we have other people in the department that do a class of the certificate and stuff like that. But as the sisters mentioned, what we do in Jamaica, she mentioned we have 4 seasons. 4 seasons in Jamaica, it used to be sour sap leaf and Tyrax. You take a washout every time before you go to school. Right, sister? What make Tyrax?
I don't know.
That was a medicine. I have not seen it again, but it was disgusting. When you take it, you used to even pull the worm from your buttocks. Right? You have to take it before every season before you go back to school. If school was opening next week Monday, Saturday night was Tyrax and sour sap leaf. No sugar, nothing. Right? So that's something that we grew up with. But I remember when my great-grandmother died, 1989. Elizabeth Campbell, the Most High bless her soul. At that time, we never have Marb in Jamaica. Or if we did have, I don't know, I was in the country. Because the great hurricane come 1988. I remember Yeshaya teacher said Jamaica will never come back. I watched that video. He said that hurricane mash them up down there, no more vacation, they will never come back. But either way, that came in September of 88. And my grandmother died 89. My great grandmother passed away 89. When she passed away, she was in the bed with us. She was right there in the house. She never come up go nowhere. We never have no fridge, no mark. As I say, I don't know if we did have, but at that time she was there for 2 days. And they would put a basin under the bed, so whatever liquid would come out in that pan, they dig a hole, they throw it in the burying. So the 3rd day when they were burying her now, we see people wash her out. I remember as a child, we were hiding, peeping, because we were scared as hell. Just imagine somebody died sleeping there, we in this room sleeping. And they put the cotton in the ears, the cotton in the nose, the cotton in the buttocks. We see what's going on, so that gave us a leverage in terms of when I went to Demona, and I see they were doing the same thing. And what them owner did too was they buried them with a lot of balm. Y'all know what balm is, right?
Bomb?
Yeah.
Balm fluid?
Yeah, bomb.
But remember, and I asked them why. What is balm? Anybody? Huh? No, it's mint, it's peppermint. Mint. We used to drink a lot of mint tea. So they put a lot of mint. They bury them with that too. I see them want to do that in the wrapping. And they said, this is balm. I never knew, I have to Google it. And they said, yeah, balm is mint. So when we see that now, so we could able to do our own burial in Ghana a couple months ago, which was way different. You know, they want to do an autopsy, they want to cut you and do all this. So we already, the father refused, and we carry out a righteous burial with our sister Yapar. All right, so for brothers and sisters here, we've been pushing it. Your wife still do insurance, bro?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so she can speak on that, or you can speak on that. We always push for brothers and sisters to have insurance in terms of when they transit from this world to the next dimension, that they can get a smooth, because we don't have the money, brothers and sisters. If you die today, we can't give you a collection. How much money? We're going to give you $10 here, $20 there. He can't bury you. A burial now here is at least $10,000, the least. Yes, Ash?
And most of the time, if an Israelite is living with their families that's non-Israelites, it's about a 90% chance you're gonna be cremated.
They're going to burn you.
They're gonna burn you. The green burial with Zaparah and other brothers have stopped quite a few cremations. And it's times when Israelites transition, we get the information 2 months later. I mean, I got information 2 years later. I've seen information, I seen a text, I'm thinking the brother just passed yesterday. But when I made the phone call, they said, oh, Salakin, brother, I forgot y'all was close. He been transitioned 2 years ago. So communication has to be intact.
And the family out.
I was in the interest.
About a couple months ago, no communication. But the green burial is there, and the Maserah is there to help. But if you're living with your family, if you are lying in your home and you checking your family on everything, then I tell you I don't eat no more pork. you know, it's just a battle. When you transition, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna get you out there the cheapest way out. And then I've known brothers be laying in the casket with a suit and tie.
Jacket and tie.
And they've been wearing a garment with a mitre for over 30 years. So it's important, like what Dr. said about the insurance and so forth. Isaiah, the 38th chapter, the first verse, it's in the book of Kings too. Get your house in order. Because if you're living with people that don't understand what you're about, your belief system, they're going to put you away the cheapest way. And there was one brother transition, his family was going to cremate him. Brothers put a stop to it and put money up and gave him a righteous going away, a righteous transition, a righteous burial. But the family supposed to have gave us the money that they was going to cremate him with. They didn't give us anything. But you was going to pay money to cremate it. So give us that money to help us out. You know, we put the brother in the ground. We did it the right way. See, but you may get that too if you at odds with your family, man. So if you're living with family, like we tell a lot of young brothers and sisters that come into this word, don't be at odds and go to war with your family. If you're going to do that, then get your own place. Get away from it. Because if you live with them, they're not going to do it right, brother. Even if you have something written down, we have stopped families, that brothers that had his transition written down, and the family still want to go against that. We have stopped a couple of that too. You know, whether Green Berries or Zaparah, they stopped that as well. And then a brother been in this truth over 30 years. Told the brother how he wanted to be transitioned, or how he wanted to be buried. But the family went against that, and guess what they did? The big C, cremated.
Cheapest way.
And he was teaching against cremation for over 30 years. So Isaiah 38th chapter, first verse, get your house in order. Like, I'm gonna pass it back to my thought for a while, talk about the insurance, get things straight. And the family that you're living with, sometimes you have to balance things out. You know, if they not gonna listen to whatever, y'all living two different lifestyles, then get your own place. Get away. Get some peace.
Con?
Get some peace, because they gonna get you up out of here the cheapest way. Put some money over here, then pocket the rest. So, I mean, just try to be at peace. Just try to balance. I mean, we all up here. I had to learn that. I'm pretty sure Barack had to learn that. Brothers that have been in this for a while had to learn how to balance situations. Had to learn how to balance life when you are living with family members and people that don't see this truth the way you see it. So I made my mind up. Let me go. Let me get my own thing. Let me separate. And I love you. I'll come back and forth, but I have to get my own. And therefore, when you get your own, the Most High would be able to deal with you a little bit stronger. Because when you're going in that domain and things ain't right, it's kind of slow down that process of the power that the Most High want to deal with you with. See, you have to have peace, man. Brothers and sisters, you have to have peace. So get everything written down, get everything put in order. And I'm going to give one more story, then I'm going to pass it back to a doctor. There was a situation, a brother and a sister. They was married. They was married according to what? Sex-less marriage. I mean, now, I've seen that work quite a few times, but sometimes it don't. Have something in writing, have some proof there too. This is my wife, this is my husband. You can have that as well, okay? But the sister passed. The brother was living with her. No contracts, nothing written, no proof that this is his wife. She passed. Her sisters and family came over. Asked the brother, who are you? I'm a husband. According to what? He had nothing. Guess what they did? Took all her stuff and put him out. And he became homeless. Because there was, well, look, the bed sheets say, you know, I mean, that's all you got. you better get something written. You gotta have something. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, sex is part of it, but have something, you know, written down as well. What we call the ketubah.
Notarized. You can just get it notarized. You can just sign it and get it notarized.
Yeah, we did weddings where the ketubah is incorporated in the weddings. Big, large ketubah, and they signed it right there. But there have been relationships that I have seen through my years that they don't have contracts or anything, build a family, and things just going perfect. I mean, if it works, hey, I'm just giving you examples, you know, what we have experienced, just to share it with you. Okay, sometimes it, you know, it's blessed and it goes, and sometimes, you know, you have problems. So the choice is yours, and I yield.
And just have 2 minutes more. So as I said, in terms of that, that's why Ash, and no, we want this leadership of the school to be over both the marriage, and for brothers and sisters can put the leadership of the schools in your gate as what? Power of attorney. For when you pass and transition, whosoever you put as power of attorney, we come in and we just do what we have to do. But if you have nothing in writings, we will not come and fight to the family for you.
One more thing too, my God.
Yes. And what we're talking is what we've been through, what we
I just
know.
thought of something, yeah.
Yes.
When you transition, when you pass, that's more glorious than the day you were born.
That's what the scripture said.
That's more
Rejoice.
power when the day that you were born. when you transition. You want to be transitioned and taken care of the right way. You don't want for over 30 years you have taught against something and then they transition and they prepare you, using everything that you spoke against, especially cremation. And you reasoning with the family, for his brothers trying to reason with the family don't want to hear it because they was against the brother or the sister's lifestyle from the very beginning. The devil was in them anyway, but they didn't want to hear. They didn't want to listen. Whatever's written, we gonna cremate it anyway. If we have stopped a brother from receiving a Christian
Burial.
and he had everything written down, everything, but the family incensed. No, we want this preacher to do it. We wanted, we came up as Christians and so forth. But brothers fought against that and prevailed because that minister knew that he was an Israelite. The minister, I don't know nothing about an Israelite funeral. I know Israelites. Let me get in contact with them. And that helped us out. And I yield.
Yes, so as I finish up, of course, we're going to the summit. And whatever we speak, like we know Sir David, I don't know, but I know some of the brothers are in power of attorney. Right? Even I was here in November, and myself and Banyaman was speaking about it. Right? And we stress it so much in our school because some of these incidents that we're speaking about, they come from House of David. So that's why we want this leadership of the school to be of power of attorney for the single woman and for the elder man or the young man and the elder woman or the young woman. That's whenever you transition, as the scripture said, and what, Isaiah 57, the Most High take you back, right? Nobody consider that the Most High take you back to him. That's why Ash said that is a glorious moment. When you're born, the scripture said that's when you're supposed to cry. Can you go and live this wicked generation? Just imagine 30 years from now. So when you see these children, you have to mourn. What will you see in 2045 if we hear? And nobody is mad now. Oh, we're talking about 2045. But either way, we want to put everything in perspective. And we want to get all the schools that are part of the Mashra Yashala on one accord in terms of we have a balance among ourselves. So that if you have, the Bible said the leadership of the school is like a spiritual father to you. So they should be able to sign your diary, your marriage certificate. They should be able to bury you when you transit. And we have sisters here, Barak wives. Stay Cora, stand for me. She do insurance. She advertises it at many summits. I think the last one was Delaware, right? That way. I haven't seen her in many moons. But she do life insurance. If somebody don't have it, you can just speak to her, see what plan you can get the best plan you can. And as I said, keep the elders in all authority in the things that matter to you. All right? I'm not saying go sign over your bank account or your house to your elder, no. You understand me? But for the main fact in terms of when it's time for you to lay to rest, you can get an Israelite burial. Like Kartazala, same day burial. And that's something that we glorify in House of David, that we could get to do when our brothers pass. They go in the grave same day. And that we have understanding with. As I said, I just lose a 13-year-old. Name was Yapar. It was the same day burial. Glorious. White linen, everything. And we mourn now, but we know we'll see her again. Because I know our transgression is not as plenty as mine. So that's why the Most High prolong my life to repent in that aspect every day. And as like all of us in terms of that aspect. Khan? What do you think about that, Dan? Daniela? Right? Yeah, you have to give the school authority over all that. Put them in power of attorney. Hey, I have $10 here. 5 should go for the elder to bury me in my past. 5 go to the family. It's as simple as that. And you make the elder know that. So if you is in Mexico, leave the elder plain fair too. He come to Mexico same day, he bury you, he go because, and something that we do too that I see they do in Israel, and we do it too, the 3-day purification, we do that. That's a law. The Bible says when you bury the dead, you must do the 3rd-day purification and the 7th-day purification. We do that too. So all of these things, we're returning, as the scripture says, remember the days of old. Remember the days of what? Many generations. So we want to do things like our fathers used to do it. Can? And with that, I yield. Someone, it's your turn. All right, Barak, coming to close it up.
Yeah.